Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Teasing the NFL. I'm here with Andrew Chang, and I'm Daniel Saludo. And what we're going to try and do here is run through the docket of all of the NFL schedule for Week 14 and show you the added value that comes in using a teaser. And Andrew here can quickly explain what the teaser is.
All right, so you're looking at all these numbers. Some things are just a little too close, just not really a bettable game. Well, a teaser changes that, being that it's a 6 point advantage to whichever way you want to play. So maybe the over is just a little too high, we can bring that down. Or maybe if the game is not really going to be as close as you think it is, then we can swing the other way for that giant upset or whatever point advantage it was.
Yeah. So we'll teach you some of the advantages you can use the teaser with, and we'll just jump straight into the first matchup. So the first matchup for the not counting Thursday night because we're recording this right now, but the first matchup to show up is Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. Baltimore is at the advantage here at -5.5. So if you take a teaser bet here, you can either tease down basically Baltimore all the way to basically 0 or plus half, which is the same thing. Basically, you're just saying Baltimore win the game. It doesn't matter by how much. So basically, you take your 5.5 point spread and then you just drop it all the way down to just say Baltimore just win me the game. The other side of that is Buffalo is a 5.5 point dog. So that drags our teaser up to 11.5. So, and the total here over under is 34.5 points. So do you see any value here in teasing any part of this game?
Well, let me tell you, as a Lamar Jackson fan, because I have him on my fantasy team,
league.
and I'm literally spinning my way into the playoffs, baby, I will tell you that there is some value to this. I think that the point spread between Baltimore and the Bills will be pretty close, right? So I don't know if they can hold on because I've been hearing great things about this Buffalo defense. Like, seriously, I'm just like, this team has kind of flown under the radar for me.
Well, you can look at what they did on Thanksgiving when they held off the Cowboys, albeit Jason Garrett wasn't exactly at his wits in the moment. But they are a solid defense. I mean, weeks back, they held the Patriots to under, I think they held them to 17 or under.
I'm going to let you retract that statement. There is no way. Did you just say the Cowboys? No, that's currently getting the butt whoop right now. Spank, spank, spank. Yeah, no, I don't buy that. But there's some value in what you said. I think the Bills are a good team, and that's exactly why I think they'll keep it close. So if you want to just kind of an okay bet, you want to tease Baltimore. But there's plenty of other games which I actually think you can bet a better favor odds of winning. But, for this game, even though I am a Lamar Jackson fan, I will say I do like the over, though, because we'll take that down to 31.5.
No,
what do you
37.5. The over-under is 43.5. Tease that down.
Oh, okay.
Tease that down to 37.5, and you basically have Baltimore. Basically, you're kind of expecting Baltimore to score about 24 points at minimum, and then you're expecting Buffalo to kind of be with it and score about 17 points.
Not concerned. Jackson 5, man. Jackson 5. You remember that game? Yeah, I remember that game. Everybody remembers that game.
They're a stout defense. I actually don't like, personally myself, I'm not a big fan of the over-under in this. Actually, my value in this is Buffalo teasing up to 11.5. You're okay. You take San Francisco's game last week against Baltimore. They held them for the most part. Now, Buffalo's defense is not as good. Maybe half step down. The question you ask yourself in this is, what do you feel more likely to happen, especially Buffalo being at home, coming up, and still technically having a chance to win their division over the Patriots? So the question you can ask yourself here is, do you expect Baltimore to win, which there's a really good chance of that, or are you scared of the chance that Buffalo wins and kind of takes over Baltimore? So if you feel like you are expecting Baltimore to win and you just don't want to worry about how much, you can you can tease Baltimore here. Or if you are worried that Buffalo will upset them, you're giving yourself a touchdown and a field goal.
Yeah,
you're
just
giving yourself a touchdown
okay.
and a 2-point conversion.
All right.
A touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal at 11.5.
So you are concerned about a blowout.
I'm not concerned about a blowout. my concern for me is just I always worry about upsets because I have bet, and you know this, you haven't followed me, but I've on some bets, but I bet a couple money lines on dogs and won with them. So I always worry about an underdog winning, and in this case, Buffalo's a very, very live dog to win this. So that's my worry when it comes to this game. So first, personally for me, my value here is actually on Buffalo teasing up to 11.5. So amongst all of the choices here,
I can see that.
Amongst all the choices,
kind of persuaded me. I like that.
Yeah, and that's it's just perceived value. You're not necessarily betting on the pure team. You're just a lot of times in teasers, you're betting perceived value. So from my perspective, I feel like the best choice here, if I were to tease one of these, is going to be Buffalo up to 11.5. I feel like for you, if you were to take a tease on this game, you would actually choose to tease Baltimore basically to just win. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it will be close. I'm going to say it will be close, but Baltimore's going to win.
No, but it's a really fair point. If you're expecting Baltimore to win, you're not worried about, they have to win by more than 5 points.
Not worried.
They have to win by more than a touchdown, basically.
I mean, not my first bet for the tease, but it's out there. It's a certainty.
Yeah, so we'll actually get to that at the end. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to run down the entire docket for Sunday and Monday, and then we'll basically compare each other's final teaser of what we think the teaser that we feel like the best value in the teaser is. So one note that we didn't bring up is that when you play a teaser bet, you have to choose
win both games.
Yeah, you have to choose
right. Or
two games or two situations. So in this case, you can choose the same game. You can tease Baltimore along with the over/under. In this case, we feel like there's a little more value in the over versus the under. So in this case, if you want to just bet this game on a teaser alone, you can bet the combination of his choosing Baltimore to win at basically just winning period at 0.5, and then my personal choice of getting the over 37.5. So you'd have to have Baltimore win along with the total score in the game being over 37.5 points. But you can do this amongst a lot of different games, and you'll see the combination that him and I have and how different we are in some cases. But we'll move on to the second game, which is Washington at Green Bay. And I'm kicking myself really hard because last week I had a situation where I couldn't put in the teaser bet with him because Green Bay was 6.5, and all you're telling me is just Green Bay, you just need to beat Danny Dimes and the hapless New York Giants. You just need to win. I'm not asking you to win by 40. I just need you to win. So I lost so much value on that because I couldn't get my bet in on time. But the spread on this game is Green Bay minus 12.5 points. When they blew out the Giants, this spread moved up a lot because I think the initial spread, I'm actually going to look it up real quick.
Green Bay is garbage.
Yeah. They're not. Are you kidding? They're still ahead in their division. How are you going to say that?
Don't tell me you're going to pass up 18 unanswered points. It can happen.
They're a different team.
It's happened.
Yeah, but we're not saying...
We've seen it happen. It's collapsing.
This game opened up at 14.5. The reason why it dropped 2 points is probably because Washington somehow pulled out a miracle win last week, which I still don't find explainable in the moment.
So, has Aaron Jones been productive for you this year?
Hey, he's gotten me enough to where I've paid for the league. I don't have to necessarily win it at this point, but that's okay. Now, one of the problems that I have with Green Bay at 12.5 is that I worry a lot about. Normally, if Green Bay was running red hot along with using Aaron Jones appropriately, not just for my fantasy team, because I don't think Jamal Williams is that good at all, I would be okay betting, albeit not the funnest number, 6.5 teaser, because you would expect Green Bay to at least blow them out by 14 points. Why are you shaking your head on that?
Let me tell you, Danny.
Jesus.
I had the same logic. How many times did I bet on Green Bay? Green Bay should be in jail for murdering all these bets. I can't even win teaser bets with Green Bay. Not even the teaser line.
The truth is, 2 weeks ago, when you and I bet the Patriots, you and I combined the bet of Patriots over Dallas, teaser with Green Bay over San Francisco. I mean, in total honesty, I don't know how many people were expecting a blowout, like a legitimate gigantic blowout. When I got to tease up Green Bay to 12, I was like, this is almost a gimme because how often does Aaron Rodgers get blown out? But it was kind of proof that San Francisco defense is like legit, which we'll get over. Come on, man, he's done it. He's done it so many times. It's hard not to do that. I mean, yeah. So you're gonna have a certain bias here with the two of us, which is okay. The goal of this is to give you just a different perspective with teasers. So obviously you don't like the value at all at Green Bay. I'm assuming you don't want to touch this game, period.
I don't really want to, but in spite of Green Bay, because they've killed me. So they killed so many people.
They've only done it to you twice.
Oh my God, twice. Isn't that enough for Green Bay?
No, because I've hit them 3 times. I've hit them 2 or 3 times.
No. But anyways, Green Bay's never worked out for me. I don't want to touch this game, but looking at the over-under,
the over-under is 41.5. So teasing it, you would get an over of 35.5 or an under of 47.5.
What do you think?
If you expect Green Bay to win on the initial spread of 12.5 points, you're expecting them to blow them out by 2 touchdowns. So for Green Bay to get to 2 touchdowns, they would have to get to 21 points, which would leave Washington essentially 14 or 15 points at minimum. If you expect Green Bay to blow up like the Giant has since Green Bay blew out the Giants last week by like 30 points, I think 20 to 30 points, they can do the exact same thing here and almost cover the spread over 2/3 of the spread by themselves. I mean, spread, okay. But the total by themselves. The question is, do you expect Washington to get any points? And I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Dwayne Haskins, to be honest. So they love to pound the ball, and Green Bay in the past, since they came off their bye has not been good against the run at all. So.
And they got an old man, Adrian Peterson, all day, baby.
Geis had a really good game. They're splitting the touches almost 50-50. And if you expect Washington to be able to run on them, then yes, the over will work here. The flip side of that is if Green Bay somehow stonewalls Washington and Haskins has to throw the ball, then the under is almost a gimme here.
You don't know how many points another team can give, not get. This
is part of the reason why I don't like betting over-unders as much, even on teasers, because it's too many variables in a game. He likes to do it a little bit more than I do.
A little bit.
Yeah. So
we just recently got burned. I won't forget. It was the Cowboys at the Giants. Oh boy.
That was 3 or 4 weeks ago, and yeah, a last-minute fumble 6 murdered us. We were so far ahead on the total on the under teaser by halftime. We thought we were in the clear, and then all of a sudden, a couple touchdowns, big touchdowns, and a fumble 6, and that just closed it on us. So
just like that, it was gone.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, where is the value? If you had to pick one of these to choose in a spread, what do you pick?
You know what? Like I said, I don't like anything with Green Bay in it right now. I feel like it's just way too inconsistent. But if I had to put my money somewhere in this bet, if I had to, I just got to get my bet in, it would probably be, the over. You know what? I'm going to say the under on 47.
Wow. If they get to 48 points, which is entirely possible considering the Green Bay defense hasn't been very good since the beginning of the season.
I mean, what if it's just a stalemate? What if no one just shows up to the game?
They will. They have to, because Green Bay has to hold on to their place, because the Vikings can still catch them.
Okay, just because they have to doesn't mean they will.
They will. They have to. They almost have to. The value for me here is actually on the over, because Green Bay basically has to get to 28 points, and if you expect them to blow them out like they blew out the Giants last week, they're gonna get to an over. So that's where it is. But honestly, both of us are going to stay away from this game because
it's Green Bay. That's why. That's the reason for me.
That's for you. For me, there's not enough value. So we'll move on to
which is the same thing. Oh, yeah. You guys are going to find out. You guys are going to find out.
All right. We live here in Houston, Texas. So we got the Houston Texans at home against Denver. So Denver here is Houston here is a 9-point favorite on the spread. So teasing this game allows you to get Denver at plus 15, or you can drop Houston down to a field goal. Ooh. And then the over-under here is 42. So where are you looking at this game? I'm kind of guessing you are looking at this game a little bit.
Sometimes a bet is so easy, it's hard, right? Because you overthink it, right?
Yeah, we did that in like week 5 or 6 for me.
It's a safe bet. It's a pretty safe bet to tease down the Texans.
Yes.
I'm going to say that right then and there. But then it's just like, really, are the Broncos really that bad that they would actually lose by however many points it becomes like what?
It becomes 15. So they have to lose by essentially
two touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
Yeesh.
There's a couple different factors in this game. Number one, Houston just beat the Patriots. They didn't just beat the Patriots. I mean,
riding high.
If you look at the game outside of that garbage time fourth quarter, they annihilated them. So there's a couple things, but there's an idea behind this that, Houston's on such a high that they're going to take Denver really easy, and then they basically backdoor cover and only win the game by 10.
Yeah, that could happen,
Yeah.
But knowing the Texans, we kind of, being a fan since conception,
That's you.
we just kind of, yeah, that's me. We just kind of play to like the other team's level. We don't really.
It happens sometimes.
Just don't really excel.
It also happens when Bill O'Brien's your coach, but that's just my own non-professional opinion of this.
Subjective,
Yeah.
purely. But, being fans, you're a little bit of a fan, right?
Okay,
yeah.
I want them to win. I want the hometown.
This is the H, dude. All right, we got to win it for the H.
Yeah.
All right, so, but it's just like, yeah, sometimes we'll show up to the game. I actually didn't think that we were going to beat the Colts, to be honest. They've always had our number,
Yeah,
but this
I
year.
Did I bet that game?
I think we did.
And we lost.
Yeah.
We lost that one.
Because we didn't think that the Texans could beat the Colts. But
Yeah.
still, nonetheless, logical, try not to be emotional because this is our teams.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be real and objective.
Well, one of the other things you have with a hometown team or your favorite team is you tend to feel like you have a little more insight because you follow them. You know your injuries. You know who didn't practice during the week, who was limited in practice. So that gives you a feel of a little bit more, that you have a little more in-depth knowledge.
That's right.
So,
what they did 2 weeks ago, what they're feeling now, all that good stuff.
So looking at it, I don't think it almost feels like you can't pass up Houston at -3 because you kind of expect them to win by a touchdown. Now, Denver can backdoor them in a close and make it kind of a close game. So if they get it down to 10. And Houston, is already way ahead, and in the last, minute and a half, they feel like they don't have to do anything else. They can just let Denver run the ball through as much as possible. But that's up to them. Our phones are going nuts because we got some friends. We've got 2 other friends in our fantasy league, and they're probably talking smack to each other.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
One has Zeke. One has Dak. The other has.
Kind of want to see.
Who does he have? He has Michael Gallup. No, your opponent has Michael Gallup.
No, my God. Hopefully someone's not telling me that he's scoring, please.
And I'm playing against Chicago's defense, so I need Dallas to just score massively.
Hell no, just give it to Zeke. Give it to somebody. Just don't give it to that guy.
Yeah.
Please. Anything. So, I need to win the matchup. Thanks, America.
Yeah.
Continue.
It's a Thursday night game. Things don't ever go right in a Thursday night game, as we know. Except for the very first Thursday night game. Told you that was easy money. Over under is 42. Teasing this down gets the over the 36 versus getting the under up to 48. So you're asking the Texans, if you expect them to blow them out, you're asking the Texans to score 28, which leaves Denver basically with 12 points to make up, which is really attainable, I feel like.
I think it is attainable, but, it's Houston. I love Houston, and that's my team. But, yeah, I think even if they have all these mistakes, they can recover. They can play hard in the fourth quarter. I think they'll cover the spread for sure. The teaser spread of -3.
Yeah,
that
-3
would be
teaser
it.
spread. Yeah.
And I don't know if this channel is gonna go into it, but I think you know where I'm going with this.
No. Well, go ahead.
Really, buying half a point.
I hate no. If you talk to a lot of sports bettors, you hear a lot of them say you don't feel like you have to buy half a point. In a teaser is different because in a teaser you can't take a tie. If the Texans win by 3, then that's a tie usually, and that's a push. But in a teaser, that's a loss.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you are kind of right. In a teaser, you can buy the half a point, but
It'll cost you.
It'll cost you. What's the juice? An extra 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in this case, you expect Houston to win. I mean, the spread is originally by 9. They kept it in double digits, so you kind of expect them to win by a touchdown, essentially, or by 4 points.
Yeah, this is just if you're really scared that Houston's gonna mess up, and if they really gonna mess up, then that half a point's not gonna save you.
I personally just don't find the value in buying it.
Sometimes it is a sucker bet, but you know, sometimes when the dealer offers you insurance, you have that feeling. You know, it's like, oh,
That's
man,
what you do.
and then you throw it out there. It's supposed to be a sucker bet, but then there it is.
Yeah.
But
so, okay, amongst the Denver-Houston game, where is your best value in terms of teasing this game? If you had to take one part of a tease.
One part for sure, very confident. Houston -3.
Yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with that, and I'm actually not opposed to if you love this game. I'm not opposed to you taking Houston and the over in this game. But because you're asking Houston to score 28 points, and you're asking Denver.
Yeah, they
to just
did
sneak
go
in
out.
14.
Yeah.
So that's all you need. So that's
How's our run defense?
It's still pretty solid. It's still pretty solid. It's not as good since Watt's gone, but they still hold off.
So you're
runners.
You're saying it's underrated?
No, they're about where they're supposed to be. It's not underrated. They're where they're supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Onwards, the big game in the NFC: San Francisco at New Orleans at -2.5. New Orleans is -2.5. Over under is 44.5. And obviously San Francisco's coming off a very close loss and a last-minute field goal against the Ravens. So you wonder if they're going to be a little hot about, we had our chance to, basically prove that they're the best team in the NFL, and they kind of lost it at the last minute. And then on the other side, you've got New Orleans, who in the past 3 weeks has kind of been a little hot cold, if you ask me, because 3 weeks ago they supposedly had an easy game against the Falcons that they lost.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's my old thumb just falling off. It's not just like my performance is falling off. I don't know, man. You know how division rivalry games are, though. So.
I know. Well, they figured it out on Thursday night last week, and they did enough. They definitely had plenty of enough of it to be able to beat Atlanta. So here we have spread is -2.5 with New Orleans at home, and the over/under is 44.5. So where are you looking at this? Because if you tease this, you get San Francisco over a touchdown at 8.5 versus New Orleans. You get to actually tease this across the 0 and get 3.5, or you're supposed to get 3.5 at -2.5, right, with a tease.
Right.
Yeah. So you're either asking yourself, can San Francisco lose by basically a touchdown, or can New Orleans lose by a field goal?
God. You know what? This one's really tough because everyone says, "Oh, the Saints at the Superdome. Oh, the Saints are at home. Oh, this and that."
They're good at home. They are.
Oh,
good.
yeah, they were good losing to the Falcons at home. Yeah, they were real good at that.
Off the bye. You can give a team a pass if you come off the bye. They were off the bye.
They didn't defend home court.
I don't disagree with that. And in truth,
and it really hasn't been the same.
In terms of spread numbers, home field advantage doesn't mean as much. Only about 60% of home teams cover the spread. So
60%, more than half.
Yeah,
to a gambler, that ain't bad.
No, it's not. No, not if you're a sports bettor.
Anywho, but yeah, I think the value in this, if I had to pick, because this does not look good to me. I just don't know what to expect from New Orleans anymore.
Yeah.
Ever since the return of Drew Brees, right? I hate to say it. I hate to say that, right? Because Drew Brees he's awesome. Who was not gonna root for this guy? And it's actually really scary what's gonna happen if they don't make it, because he's just gonna be lost. That whole team's gonna be lost. But I think they're in a situation that they need to prove that they're in contention for this trip to the Super Bowl. So I am going to say, if I had to choose something, New Orleans should squeeze out the win. Minus 2.5. That's it right there.
So,
They'll win. They'll win.
So there's two perceived values here, in my opinion. So if you expect New Orleans to win this game, then teasing them up to 3.5, just in case a last-minute field goal beats them, much like San Francisco was beat by a last-minute field goal, then that covers you. If you're expecting New Orleans to be a slightly better offense, then you can run the teaser up on San Francisco's side at 8.5. But in total honesty, these kind of games scare me so much like last week's Baltimore and San Francisco game scared me so much. I couldn't bet it. Now, actually, you got a lot of really good value in San Francisco if you really thought about it, because you were getting San Francisco at +6, teasing them up to +12. San Francisco's defense is so good that you kind of don't expect them to lose by more than double digits. So we lost out on that. Again, I didn't have a chance to put my bet in, but I was actually thinking about that at one point. Any thoughts on the over/under 44.5? You get your over down to 38.5, and you get your under up to 50.5.
Man, I think Drew Brees at home can drop just anywhere about to 30 points. So that's my opinion, and he's done it before. Like,
let's actually look at what their scores have been like.
Check it out. The man is Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh God, Dallas is getting murdered.
Oh yeah,
yes. So glad we didn't bet this game. Yeah. Oh, dude. Did I mention in the text I would take the Cowboys under or the
I did. I would say Cowboys over.
I thought there was too much value.
I'm getting
I thought there
right
was
now.
thank God we didn't take the bet. I thought there was way too much value in getting Chicago.
See, America, I just said Cowboys.
Double digits.
I just said Cowboys over. So anyone who you should listen to in this video is clearly this guy. I don't know what
I don't know. I've missed my bets too. I'm in the negative right now. So
all you guys know is
we're
one
looking at
loss
New
right
Orleans.
now. One
New
loss.
Orleans.
That's me. A head start.
So on app, let's see the Saints. Let's see how many Saints the points the Saints have put.
Well, Drew Brees only has
30.
like 2 games, right? 3 games.
He's had a couple games. He scored a duck in that second game. 33, and then the Teddy Bridgewater games. He's put up enough numbers outside of that first Falcons game. He's put up enough numbers.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah,
30.
34,
Yeah.
9 at the duck, and then they murdered the Cardinals. So you do make a good point that he should be able to put enough numbers to help cover the rest of that spread.
And you're talking about Jimmy G, the understudy of the master. Oh, which means that he is a Super Bowl champion too, technically speaking.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was
So's
thanks to Pete Carroll.
So's David Carr.
Hey, but dude, don't disrespect David Carr now.
Oh, wow.
Dude,
it's a running joke, dude. It's a running joke that David Carr has.
Dude, he was the
I know. He didn't have any blocking. I know.
Oh man,
all right.
I would have given my body for David Carr.
I know.
For sure. I would have blocked for you.
I don't doubt that he was a good quarterback. He just didn't have a line in front of him, and that's the really.
He showed up somebody the other day.
I don't know. You'll have to show me that later.
I'm about to show you on this laptop right here. I'm about to whip that up.
Show me later. All right. So San Francisco at New Orleans. Where is your perceived value in this? If you took one as the tease.
That's so tough. I think. I said before the Saints should squeeze out the win, but I think in this case, if I had to bet something on this game, the over at 38.5.
Interesting.
I think. Well, I mean, we just saw right there, 34, 26 in the most recent games. And, Jimmy G, he's no slouch behind the wheel. That and, by the way, I don't think New Orleans' run defense is too good. And guess who is... Oh, guess who is starting out? Oh, dude, who did I just pick up? Monster.
You picked a Monster? Oh,
yeah, so I need them.
I have Breida, so he's going to play. That's you realize you're going to run into an issue with Coleman, Breida, and Monster all being healthy, all being able to play. You're going to get 33%.
We got to go with the hot hands.
Yeah, it's whoever's running hot in the game, not the game before.
No.
So my perceived value is actually San Francisco. It scares me to do this a little bit. San Francisco away from home, but if you're expecting this game to be close, which I do, i.e. under a touchdown, then 8.5 gets you over the key numbers of 3, 6, and 7, especially 6 and 7 over a touchdown. So if my perspective is I expect this game to be close under a touchdown, then regardless of which side you take, then you have to take the high end side of the perceived value of 8.5 because you're over the two big numbers of 6 and 7. Two of the big numbers of 6 and 7. So that's where I would bet this on one half of a teaser. Now, does that mean I want to? No, because this is another close game that scares me. So that's where it's at for me.
Yeah,
so that over, you make a really good point on the over because if it turns into a shootout somehow, it's gonna hit because New Orleans probably can put up over 24 points in there, and at that point, you're asking San Francisco to put up 14 to 15. So it's really possible for that to happen.
Really doable as well. We're not asking for the moon here. It's just doable.
Yeah, because here or another case is if New Orleans puts up 28, then San Francisco only needs to put up 10.5. So two touchdowns covers that pretty easily.
I think I scared you when I said about how close it could be. When you said San Fran, I was just like,
no, I'm expecting San Fran. Close. There's another game in here that I expect to be really close too, but we'll get to that in a little.
No, I think I scared you. Not I scared you, but the fact that it's at home. It's the same. No, but I'm expecting the Superdome. That scares people.
San Francisco's got enough defense to hold off a higher power offense. They showed it already once. Their offense may not be as potent, but New Orleans doesn't have, in my opinion, as good of a defense as Baltimore was last week. So you kind of expect this game to be under a touchdown or at a touchdown at the most. Even if a 2-point conversion comes up, you still hold off at 8 points. Yeah, I know.
2-point conversion.
Just in case. Teams still go for it every now and then. But that's where the value of it is for me. Okay, moving on. We're moving to the AFC North and the insanity that is Cincinnati finally getting their first win of the season. The Red Rocket, Mr. Andy Dalton came back and beat up on the hapless New York Jets versus the even more hapless, all-worldly talented, not well-coached Cleveland Browns at home. The line on this somehow is Cleveland -7. This gets your teaser down to -1 for Cleveland or Cincinnati up to 13, plus 13. Your over-under here is 41.5. So, what is your value here? And if you know me well enough, you would know where my value is on this. So, where is your value on this?
I think this guy's going to go Cincinnati. Just saying right there.
Okay. Where do you think what's your value on this?
My value, I would have to say, you know what? I like actually the over or under.
Well, your over-under is 41.5, so your over gets moved down to 35.5, and your under gets moved up to 47.5. Side note, they both scare me. This is a game where anything can happen, and over-under totals are something I do not want to touch.
That and it just takes forever to hit it. It's like, oh my god. Like,
well, the problem is every now and then you can come into a situation where you need like a field goal, and a team may be too far ahead to maybe want a field goal. So that happened to us on Monday night where we needed a little more. You didn't bet it. I bet it. Yeah, I needed more points than field goals. So by the time the third quarter came and all the turnovers started happening, I'm like, I got it. So that's what I needed.
That is true. Yeah. That is true. I don't know. So was I wrong? You think that there's more value in what? What do you think there's more value?
So you actually think my value is on Cincinnati? My actual value is actually on Cleveland.
No,
I do.
Wait, is he playing with the injured hand?
Possibly. There's no real. I haven't seen the reports on him yet.
Great. So you don't know if
all you have to do is hand the ball off to your 2-star freaking running backs. That's all you got to do. They got away from that last week against Pittsburgh. Albeit Pittsburgh's got a really good run defense, but you got to keep hacking at the tree. That's the only way to do it. If Cleveland's smart enough to take your all-worldly, who is leading rushing right now, freaking Nick Chubb, you give him the ball 20 times against a defense that is almost non-existent, especially in the run, you simplify the game. Now the question is, will Freddie Kitchens be smart enough to do that? I don't know. I'm hoping so. But basically, I don't see a scenario where Cincinnati wins. So you're asking Cleveland to win the game. Because there's a really good chance that Cincinnati doesn't show up once.
It's the Browns, man.
No, but look.
Talking about the Browns.
I don't care. They smoked the Ravens in week 3. Were you expecting that? Nobody was. So it's in the realm.
Who have they smoked then?
That's it. And they kind of beat up on Pittsburgh by 14 points, which they would cover. Which Cincinnati would not cover. In this case.
That's fair.
So,
but
and they smoked the Dolphins the week after that. They destroyed the Dolphins after that.
I mean,
so the problem I have with this game in Cincinnati and trusting Cincinnati is Cincinnati's in line for the number 1 pick right now, and they can hold the number 1 pick if they lose.
You think they're gonna throw the game?
That's not throwing the game. You just don't show up for half the game. That's all. I'm expecting Cleveland at home to somehow find some kind of we're here. We're going to actually do something about this and win this game. So for me, the value here is Cleveland just to win the game. I'm expecting them to win by a touchdown, by the way. So,
oof. If there was one thing I had to pick from this game, I don't think that could be it. It's the Browns. I don't know.
All right. So you're betting against them then? Or do you still want to hold that over?
I mean, I'm looking at this over right here at 35.5, but then I'm looking at this under, which, maybe, dude, the Red Rocket, you said the Red Rocket is a red dud, and he'll just fall back into his old ways. But how many games did he play and then got benched? 6, right?
Yeah, 6 or 7 games. He got benched for 2 games, and
then they brought him back last week. And
yeah,
it was okay. It wasn't
fine. So he's definitely. I mean, Driscoll is not what you want in a quarterback. So just going with Cincinnati, if Cincinnati's actually looking to play properly and win, since going with Dalton's the best choice. But the over's fair on this because you're asking each team to get to almost 20 points each, 18 in this case, at 35.5. So you're asking each team to get to 18 points or 20 to 17. 20 to 19 gets 28. Wait, my number's wrong. Sorry, 20 to 17 gets you there because it's 35.5. I looked at the wrong one. 20 to 17 gets you there, so it's really doable.
I guess.
So my value here is Cleveland. Is your value really the over, or you don't expect us to hit the under?
Dude, I just don't expect them to hit the under, but I'm just scared of it. But I do like the under at 47.5.
47.5. So you would need each team cannot get more than 24 points each.
I see a lot of turnovers in this game. A lot of penalties.
That's the thing. A turnover gives you the over. You know that, right? A turnover means more possessions in likely somebody else's territory.
All that aside of being true, it's the turnovers at the pivotal moments. So they'll probably get all the way towards the end zone, right? Towards the red zone. Sorry, not the end zone. The end zone means that you scored. Towards the red zone. And it's we fumbled, or it's like a pick six the other way, or this and that. Which a pick six is even worse. It's the same thing. But, I
understand.
I just can't do that.
So
but
over under, what are you feeling? What do you feel like is going to hit? Or do you want to take Cincinnati at plus 13?
Dude, I would still take Cincinnati at plus 13.
Okay, that's where your value is. It's a little scary because Cincinnati's been blown out God knows how many times.
But again, it's the Browns. And wait, are the Browns at home?
Yes.
Oh, see, that matters to me. So now I'm just but he's playing with a broken hand.
The Browns are going to come out wanting to prove something, that they are legitimate at some point.
Oh my God, every team wants to go prove that, Danny. Come on.
God. This one. After 3 weeks ago with the Pittsburgh incident with Myles Garrett, and then they basically go to Pittsburgh and not really show up, they're gonna want to have to prove something.
I just don't want a triumphant return for Andy Dalton, because then it'll just be we should have never benched this guy, this and that, and better things and crazier things have happened in football. I mean, against the Browns, I don't know. It's
all right. Cincinnati, Cleveland.
There was a time where this question wouldn't even have been irrelevant. You believe that? Now we have to actually ask ourselves. That's how bad.
That's assuming we choose.
That's how bad some of these teams have gotten.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's like betting on Washington. I know 12.5 at Washington. I know it's scary.
No.
All right, moving on to the NFC South, we have Carolina at Atlanta. Atlanta's -3, over under is 47.5. I'm gonna say this one right now. I do not know what to do with this game, so I would not even touch this game.
You don't have faith in your boy CMC Christian McCaffrey?
So one of the things is, Ron Rivera was fired, right?
Yeah, he was.
So I don't know if Rivera was the reason why C-Mac didn't get enough touches in the past 2 weeks, because clearly he got it in the first half of the season. So I don't know. You worry when a coach gets fired. Is it gonna pump up the team, or is it gonna put the team kind of in a low? So that's what worries me about this. Atlanta, on the other side, doesn't have a defense outside of 2 weeks. And Matt Ryan and that offensive line do not know how to, and that offensive line does know how to block. So as I have Matt Ryan as my quarterback in fantasy, I'm always worried that he's going to take 9 sacks, which he's done a couple times, it feels like. So Atlanta, you can tease them from -3, get it to the other side across the 0 at +3, or you can take Carolina and go up to 9. Your over-under is 47, so your teaser gets you over 41 or under 53. I don't feel like anything good can come out of this game, because you could easily see a blowout game happening. You can easily see a shootout in this game. You can also easily see these teams just saying, fuck it, I don't want to play anymore, and it hitting an under.
Yeah, I think you're super right, because this is volatile.
Yeah.
It's, it can go either way.
This game could easily be 20-30. This game could easily be 10-7.
I was just about to say 10-13. 10
easily.
something.
It could easily be that way.
These teams are just Carolina's a mess right now.
Yeah. If I had to take value,
but C-Mac though.
If I had to take value in this game because I worry about how the teams play, I feel like the only value I can take is the under at 53.
That's fair. That's so fair. Because you got a new coach. Not even a new coach. It's an interim.
You have an
coach.
interim. I don't even know who they've named yet. I didn't even look at the news. If they promoted one of the coordinators.
You're already on a second QB, right?
Because they shelved Cam for IR on the IR. So yeah, it's all Kyle Allen, who's very hot cold, really hot cold. So.
Right, and then you're going to just have like a whole new team, a whole new set of ideas, a whole new game plan. It's just, it's not something that I would bet on.
Yeah.
So, wait, but you have to choose, right?
Yeah,
you got to
choose. I chose the under, and if I had to choose one in this, I choose the under.
Oh,
Where
man.
are you at?
You know what? If I had to choose, oh my God, I agree with you on the under. Under 53?
Under 53.
Even if it is a blowout.
I mean, each team could get 26 and you're still safe.
It could be
28-24 and you're still safe.
It could be 47-7 and you'd be good.
Easily could. So.
Yeah, which I think will happen 47-7.
47-7, sure. Why not?
Screenshot it.
Snap that. Here
Snap
from
that.
Him.
Clip that. What game is
I'm the one that has to clip this.
clip that. No, that post edit, Danny. Don't do it. That was terrible. 7-47. If that happens, my God,
I'll pay you $100.
You heard it here first, America. If that happens, what did
I get into?
Of
course, anything's possible.
No, I don't think so.
So clearly, we're gonna stay out of this game. We're gonna move on to another game that also really scares the mess out of me. It's going up to the NFC North. We have Detroit at Minnesota. Minnesota is -13. And I think the line originally was 14. Yeah, the line was originally 14, but when Dalvin Cook got hurt, that dropped the line by 1. And still possibly no Adam Thielen in this game. So over-under in this game is 43. Just looking at these tease numbers, they look great because you think like, oh, Minnesota can dominate this game and win by a touchdown, but you also have Kirk Cousins, who hasn't necessarily in the history of his career has never been really consistent. On the other side, you have Detroit, who's almost a 20-point dog here. They can lose by 17. They can lose by 2 touchdowns and a field goal and still be safe. They can lose by 2 touchdowns with 2 2-point conversions and still be safe. But, man, I don't know. Minnesota could easily not show up to this game.
At home.
Yeah. At home. Now, albeit Cousins has been really good at home, so I can understand why you want to take why you can take Minnesota at -7, but Detroit could easily backdoor this and get it to 6 and lose by 6. Your over-under is 43, with your over getting moved down to 37 and your under is 49. This is another game I'm scared of because there are too many variables in this.
Yeah,
and I don't know where I'm at. So do you have any sense of where you would actually go with this?
No, even though I like that a lot, I don't like this. Yeah. No, not at all. Absolutely not. So I actually think that, wow, Minnesota, dude, -7. I mean, they should win by a touchdown, but they have to win by a touchdown.
No, they have to win by more than a touchdown. A touchdown is what you get. Now, this is a case. This is one of the few cases where you can listen to them and say, buy me half a point. That gets you 6.5. That at least you get you over the touchdown and the field goal.
Right, exactly. Or even better, if this line, the lines do change. The line
can move
from time to time. So if it goes to 6.5.
If it drops to 6.5. So for example,
and then you buy another half a point.
If Thielen and Cook are both considered fully out, this line can drop to 6.5. Let me see if any of the books have it at 6.5 yet.
But instead of a touchdown,
no,
it becomes 2 field goals, which means a lot too.
Everybody's showing this at 13. I don't think anybody's going to move off of it. There's not enough value for the books to get anything off of that. But if you held a gun to my head and I had to choose one of these on my teaser, I don't know if I can pass up a touchdown with the golfing class that is Minnesota versus Detroit at home. Kirk Cousins at home has been really good. The problem is Cook can play, but he probably shouldn't, because this is such a winnable game. And Alexander Madison, the backup, is actually pretty damn solid.
You're not giving Matt Patricia's defense
no.
Oof.
No.
Ooh, that's tough.
I'm not. So my value here is Minnesota at -7. It's a tough 7 to take, but if you wanted to find some value in this, it's probably Minnesota at -7, even though that's not really good value.
I think you'll get that though, because my Detroit defense on fantasy, lame.
You have
dropped
them?
him. I dropped them.
Yeah,
I dropped them.
You didn't have any, but you needed to.
Yeah, so, it was no way.
Do you want? I know you don't want any piece of this game, but if you had to take one, what do you take? Smirking on this.
Don't make me look at this line, dude.
Fuck this shit.
I like that Kirk Cousins, but he has to win at least.
He has to win over a touchdown.
And,
touchdown and a field goal. 3 field goals.
This guy's been scaring me a bit. All this time I was a Kirk Cousins fan.
I have him in my other league, so
He knows.
Yeah.
He knows.
Well, I had him last year too, and he.
So if I had to pick something,
I feel like you're gonna say the Minnesota.
Just to agree with you, just because it's my boy Kirk Cousins.
Disagreed on almost everything, on half of the stuff so far. So.
This is true, and this is any way, shape, or form scripted at all. This is like how
we're not supposed to be scripted.
Naturally.
I told you not to. I said if we want to disagree, we should disagree.
Naturally feel. I was like, so. We'll see. We'll find out on Sunday where we really make the bets. Yeah. But right now, if somebody had me at knife point, it would be. I think, dude, God. See, now I'm tripping.
Over 37?
I'm tripping. See, I thought it could
over
be.
37, over 37 gets you Minnesota 28 points, leaving Detroit to cover 11 points. No, 12 points, because you got to get over 37.
That just kind of, no. I don't think that'll happen. But I don't think Detroit will be blown out by 20 points.
Oh, you want 19? You want 19? It's not a bad choice.
I'm going to swing the other way on this one.
It's not a bad choice.
And it's a little crazy.
It's hard to sit there and be like, oh, it's 19 points. That's like a lot of points.
But
3 touchdowns easily happens.
Hey, when this guy just told me that Kirk Cousins hasn't been sewn up, but he's still a good QB. I just think
I still trust him on prime time.
I just think that Lions defense is
good enough. Good enough.
It's good enough.
All right.
I think.
I don't blame you. All right. Final game of the noon games, Central Time, anyways. The final game is the lowly Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets. Somehow the Jets are -5.5 in this game, and the over/under is 45.5. 3 games in a row that scare the shit out of me. And this is the last of the 3 that scare the fucking mess out of me.
Really?
Yeah. Go to silent, dude. Seriously.
Hold on, it could be my mom again. Gosh, she just. Oh no.
She's saying like the restaurant burning down or something.
Probably
If you're
something
ever Houston, Texas, in the Galleria area, please go to Sage 400 or his family's restaurant. It is awesome. It is delicious. And he's got a big smile on his face because this is free advertising for him. One day we will be sponsored by them. That'll be nice. We'll have like a nice plate of sushi here.
Yes.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Sage 400 Japanese
restaurant sushi. Selfless plug. But
okay, Miami. I can't say this straight because this is so fucking ridiculous. Even though they beat the Eagles, it's still the fucking Miami Dolphins. Are you buying in the Fitz magic? Can you?
I don't have to buy into it.
I have Devontae Parker, so
I can just buy into the Jets not scoring 12 more points than them.
It's a really fair point, but my scary thought about this is Fitzpatrick is Fitzmagic can turn right into ridiculous Fitzmagic and throw 4 picks in a game.
What Danny's trying to say is that Fitzmagic can turn into Fitztragic.
Yes,
really
exactly.
Bad. It's just
sometimes
he's
and I've been scared of it because I have Devontae Parker and it's gonna kill me one day. But you bring up a really good point in that I don't think you're right. The Jets have almost no chance in my opinion that they'll win this by double digits. It's a really good point. Now, albeit it's a really scary thought, it's much like betting against the Patriots, which we did last week, and half of it worked. Just the Green Bay didn't work 2 weeks ago.
And there you go.
And it worked.
There you go. Green Bay teaser line, ladies and gentlemen.
We're way past that. We're way past
We are, but just to remind you.
It was easy money last week. Half a point against the Giants. It's easy money last week. It's different now. Any one on the over-under here, 45.5. Get your over down to 39.5, and then your under gets up to 51.5.
Oof. I would probably take the under at 51.5.
I would actually take the over in this case.
What?
You can have a shootout. If anything, Robbie Anderson and Sam Darnold are starting to click a little bit more, and you would hope that Adam Gase can start to use Le'Veon Bell properly. So if that happens, each team getting basically 3 touchdowns is not out of the question.
That's the Jets, man. It's the Jets.
The Jets. Here's the thing: the Jets actually have the best run defense in the NFL, and Miami is on their 30th freaking running back at this point, so they're gonna have to throw it.
Okay, so you're saying that they'll just funnel that option because they have nothing else.
Yeah, they have nothing else, and by the time the game gets to the second half, they're only going to be wanting to throw it with the occasional run. So,
well, you know what? Fitzmagic is going to pull out another win on this one.
So I'm actually going to agree with you on this. The value here is actually at Miami 11.5. I don't actually think that is going to change. It could drop to 11, but I don't think it's going to. That could drop to 5, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, everybody across the board has it at 5.5. Stations actually has it at 6. So that's actually a really good value at 12. So both of us here are, even though it scares me a little bit, he brings up a really good point in that you can't see the Jets winning by more than essentially 10 points. So that's where the value is. All right, moving to the 4, or in our time zone, the 3 o'clock games. First game is the LA Chargers. I'm gonna have to constantly remember to say San Diego, not say San Diego, because I said it so many times in my life. LA Chargers against Jacksonville Jaguars with Gardner Minshew back at quarterback. LA Chargers are actually the favorites here at -3. Your over/under is 43. Teasing this gets you the Chargers across 0 to +3, while Jacksonville gets up to +9. Your over/under teaser is over 37, and your under gets moved up to 49. I don't know what is worth getting here. I feel like if you want to take pure value, you take Jacksonville because you tease up over the 2 key numbers 6 and 7 at 9. Is that where you're at too?
My initial thought, yes, for sure. Like, that seems like a pretty good bet. I don't see the Chargers really beating them by 9 points. Not at all. But then I thought about it. I thought about the departure of Jalen Ramsey. I thought about how this defense was...
This defense has been awful. They've been getting murdered by everybody.
which Danny has just reiterated my point that this is, I don't know, and the Chargers are coming up. I guess I'm
not
guessing
they lost their chance at the playoffs last week when they lost to Denver.
Yeah, but
on their third string quarterback, I might add, or technically second.
Drew
Lock. They look pretty good actually.
Yeah, he's gonna be the new one.
Maybe
clip that.
So. You bring up an interesting point. I didn't really think about it at the time. If both defenses are not very good, so you might expect a shootout, and getting over 37 is extremely possible because if Jacksonville gets to 21, that leaves Chargers to get to 17.
Right.
Or 16. 16 gets you to tie, but 17 gets you over it. So.
Yeah. Not only that, I feel like you have my boy Leonard Fournette. And he's
hit the end zone 4 times this season because they don't use him properly.
He's a workhorse, but I mean, whatever it is, they got Melvin Gordon on the other side too, right? So if you're thinking
better back, by the way.
Right. So, but if you're thinking that they're gonna have a lot of run plays, that means
then that's under.
That's right. Because that game clock is gonna go by so fast, dude. That game clock is gonna be like
under takes you to 24 to 24. That is really attainable. I feel like. 24 to 24 is really attainable.
Yeah.
Minimum.
So I don't see a value.
24 to 27. All you need is 24 to 27. This game could easily be close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it is going to be close.
So you're expecting, and you still thinking under is better?
Not that under is better per se. Wait, we're looking at the same one, right? Under 49?
Yeah, under 49. 24 to 24 gets you to 28. 24 to 27 gets you to 51.
I'm just saying, but I mean, the best value on this, I think, is the plus 9.
Yeah, I think it is plus 9, and I actually would not be surprised if Jacksonville wins this outright because Gardner brought a certain kind of energy to the team. He's like, yeah, I want to fucking win. Yep. Gardner brought that with the stash and all that stuff and the headband.
Little LSU boy, baby.
So I don't normally do this, and he knows I've only done it, I think, 4 or 5 times, and I actually have a decent record. This is actually a case of if I expect Jacksonville to win, I'm going to play the money line on this. The money line's plus 145, which is not great value, and I actually wouldn't play this money line. I would play this money line if it was around plus 70. Plus 70 is where it is enough value for me, but I don't think I'm getting enough here. Now, I don't know if it's changed. Let me actually look if it's changed, but right now it's plus 45. 100 to win 145 doesn't feel like great value to me. Yeah, it's still 145 as a consensus, so I can't do that. If it's 170 somehow, I'll take it, but I think the books feel like that Minshew brings something a little bit more. So I definitely would take the points as well. So plus 9 is our consensus on this.
Is that the first time we agreed on something?
No, we agreed on the Miami game, and we agreed
that's true.
Houston. We easily agreed on Houston.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. All right. Cool.
All right. Going down the big game. Also the scary game. This is Kansas City going to Foxborough, going to Gillette against New England. New England is -3. Over-under is 49. KC is at +3. Teasing this gets you at +9. New England gets you across the 0 to get you at +3. Over gets you down to 43, and your under gets up to 55. You and I both agree that the value is likely with Kansas City here. Or have you changed that? Because I feel like the value is in KC. KC.
I think when everyone thinks about who should have went to the Super Bowl last year, nobody you talk to would forget this game. There was literally just scoring, just coming back, just answering, just knocking on the door and saying, yeah, I'm here too. It was crazy. So not only do I think that the KC, and it was close too. It went into overtime.
Yeah.
Right? Overtime.
KC actually should have had it.
On some controversial calls. Overtime. And that was it 20? It was like what, 27-27?
Something like that.
Something like that, right? Which takes us over to
that
over.
That takes you over the over of 43.
Which is 43, which I think is actually good too. But I think likely,
even though this supposed New England defense is better,
it doesn't matter. They're there because they're just like, hey, this is for what you did to us last year. So you guys better show up.
So to get to the over here is you need both teams to hit 21 to 24 get you the over with the tease, because that gets you to 45 or 44, barely.
44, yeah.
Or 23-21 gets you to 44. 21 to 24 gets you to 45. So that's really attainable for sure, but
you got to take value for the KC.
The question you have on this is, do you expect the Patriots to win or lose this game? That's number one. I expect the Patriots to actually win this game. I expect this game to be close. That's why I feel like the value is at KC at +9. There's not a chance, in my opinion, even though Mahomes has not been playing as well as when he first started the season, there's not a chance that this game they get blown up by double digits. It's not happening. They're going to keep it close. KC's defense is actually slightly underrated.
See, this is where the term value is different, because I personally think that the Patriots won't be able to win this one. They're now starting to kind of struggle. You saw it.
Well, it's because they had easy matchups. I told you that.
You did tell me that. You told me that, yeah, the schedule is very easy, right?
And a lot of people would agree with that.
And they're winning these just maybe. Well, actually, I got to take that back. There were a couple of blowouts, but that was because there was some outstanding defensive plays. And the Jets.
And Sam Darnold seeing ghosts.
Yeah, so those are great defensive plays.
We won that one, by the way. We won that one. That was easy money for us. We won it by halftime almost.
Too easy.
We took that one by halftime almost. That was
awesome. But
so are you feeling the value still at KC 9, regardless if they're going to win?
Yeah. But the value is there because I feel that KC will actually win.
Okay.
So, of course, you're telling me that a team, just like how you felt about Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're going to tell me that the team I think is going to win actually can lose by 9 points?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. So I think that's where it is.
So
the value is on the +9 teaser with KC. I actually think it's okay to also go over 43. So I think that's your easy number one choice here is KC +9. Your 1A is over 43, because it won't be a shootout like a fucking 30 to 40 game, but it'll easily get over 40. It should easily get over 43 points each.
And
43 points total.
Just a side note, I like where this game is placed. All right, so if you have a couple difficult noon games, and then you get this nice, juicy 3 o'clock game, and then you have something that's kind of iffy on the Sunday night game. These games matter. I feel like you should have a little more importance.
You do this better than I do, because I tend to block out the 1 o'clock games, the 4 o'clock games, and the night and the prime time games.
Sometimes you always forget, I gotta choose what is the best combination of what I feel in, and then it's oh my gosh, I have another game that's coming up. However, this could lead to things being too dependent and stacking your bets. Yeah. And we all know what happens in stacks.
Which I actually did once back in week 7 or week 8, and I actually won both the bets. But looking back at it, it probably wasn't the best stack that I had. Mm-hmm. Are you feeling like the value's good enough? If you expect them to win, will you take the money line? Because the money line here is at +140, and it's probably not going to shift.
Oof. See,
this is a case of Jacksonville. There's not enough value in getting 40 bucks.
Yeah, if it was a little higher, I mean, that 70 was a sweet spot. That's a really good time. That's a really good time to bet any money line.
I did that 175 with the Lions back in week 3, which you thought I was nuts for.
Yeah.
I was nuts for going for. I said they're gonna pull it out. And they did at the end. And then the Steelers. I was on vacation.
God.
By the way, I was on vacation 4 weeks ago in Ireland, and I sent out a text that I want the Steelers teaser, but I teased them probably with New England, and I wanted an extra sprinkle on the money line, but I put $100 on the money line for Pittsburgh, who was at 170. At home, and I never got to explain it to you, but the reason why I did that is because I felt like Pittsburgh was really going to win it because their defense was good enough to win, and it was. Their defense was.
Yeah, their defense is pretty stellar this year.
So I was like, the value's too good there. If I had any more balls, I would have put a couple hundred on the money line. To be honest. Speaking of Pittsburgh, we're moving to the third game, which is Pittsburgh at Arizona. Pittsburgh is -2. A really strange number, in my opinion. Your over/under is 43.5.
Fishy.
It's very fishy. Obviously, Pittsburgh's coming off pretty hot, beating Baker Mayfield. You got Duck Hodges, technically the 4th string quarterback, who's pretty good. He's what I call your standard game decent game manager. Doesn't do anything great, but doesn't do
What
anything.
a great sounding
Doesn't do
title,
anything,
Danny. What a
doesn't
great
do
sounding
anything,
title.
As Mike Tomlin says, is that it doesn't kill you. So basically, you just have them do enough to win the game, and the defense is so good, getting turnovers, getting stops, that they can do this. 2.5 is not a great number.
No.
2.5 is not a number that I like. That gets you to 3.5. That gets Pittsburgh over a field goal to win. To lose by a magical tied field goal. Arizona would at plus 2.5 get you to 8, plus 8.5. So that gets you over that magical number of a touchdown, 6 or 7. No, it doesn't. Well, you're already across the field goal at okay, you're not. You're right. But that gets you over 3, 6, and 7 are your key numbers. Your over under is 43.5, getting your over at 37.5, and your under at 49.5. Do you see any value in this? Even though I'm the big Steelers fan here. This is kind of scary because it's Pittsburgh away, and if Arizona is supposed to be this high up tempo offense that can put a ton of plays and points on the board, you expect this to be a high scoring affair, and Pittsburgh doesn't put up a lot of points usually. The flip side to that is Arizona's defense is godly awful.
Yeah, their offense is kind of garbage too.
Yeah.
Sorry. So if that's the case, yeah.
You took a college-rated offense and you moved it to the NFL. It's terrible.
Well, you just said it right there. So I think, oh God, if I had to choose, man, wow.
If I had to take one in this, I actually expect this game to be close as well. I take
Pittsburgh.
Arizona.
You would take Arizona.
I take Arizona plus 8.5 because I don't expect this game to go over a touchdown. I don't expect that. Duck Hodges will do enough to win the game and keep them ahead, and then Arizona can backdoor it.
That's a scary thought, man.
The whole game is scary. As much as I love betting Pittsburgh, this is one I'm going to stay away from. But if I had to pick one, it's got to be Arizona over a touchdown.
And Arizona's home too. I just want to stay away from this one.
That's the other thing for me, because Pittsburgh's away. They don't always do as well when they're not at home. Obviously, they love playing at Heinz Field with all the rowdy Steelers fans. So it's a little different. Pick one, man.
Dude,
even though it's scary.
I know
we know we're not going to choose this game. That's a given.
Wow, the over. Yeah, no. This one, I might say under 49.
Under 49.5. That's my number 2 choice, is the under, because this is probably going to be a low scoring game. Arizona got a field goal last Sunday. A field goal. They couldn't even get one in the. Oh no, they got a touchdown.
Kyler Murray rushed it in.
Yeah, he ran it in.
That's
right.
right.
I need him to throw it to Christian.
See ya, big fella.
I need big. That's funny.
Exactly.
If you expect Arizona to somehow pull a win out of this, you're getting actually decent value at 130, at a plus 130 on the money line if you're not worrying about teasers. So that's the only other thing that I see, but I'm not touching this game.
Yeah. No.
Final game of the 3 o'clock docket: Tennessee at Oakland. Tennessee, moving on. Tennessee, somehow they are still in the playoff hunt. Actually, somehow Pittsburgh is also in the playoff hunt because they're in the 6th seed right now. But right behind them is Tennessee. Tennessee is minus 2.5 against Oakland. Oakland is at home at plus 2.5. Over unders 47.5. Somehow this game is predicted to be a shootout because 47.5 sounds insane to me.
I don't
see anything.
I don't think it's.
I want to see if the lines actually change.
I don't think it's wrong. That over sounded really good to me too. And then I heard 47. I think it's very doable. You're talking about Ryan Tannehill. Let me tell you guys something. I didn't believe in Ryan Tannehill until this guy told me about it. Hey man, you better watch out. What you mean watch out, dude? They're the Titans. They're terrible. It's Marcus Mariota, he's out, and then Ryan Tannehill. You're gonna tell me that the former
over awful freaking Marcus Mariota. That's what I'm saying.
And but who would have thought? Who would have thought someone's trash from Miami?
No, it's not about that. It's about how bad your previous quarterback was. Mariota was getting nothing. Like, not throwing a ball over 15 yards is what it felt like. Not running. Tannehill at least is young enough and still feels vibrant enough to be able to I want to go for that. I want to go and throw for this, along with having a great run game. So that's the difference between him and Mariota. That's why when I told you when they started him that week 5 or week 6, I said he's going to be worth playing. Now, neither of us jumped on it, but I told you he's going to be worth having.
So with that same exact reason, I do think there's actual value to a high-scoring game. I really do, because the Raiders can score too.
The Raiders can run the ball. They can't throw the ball. And unfortunately for you, Tennessee has a nice run defense. Tennessee has a good defense overall. Really nice run defense.
So it sounds like to me you're thinking the under.
Yeah, the under is my value in this game. I'm a little scared of both spreads. If I were to choose a spread, it would be teasing the Oakland Raiders up to 8.5, even though I don't trust them. Oh. But I'm staying away from the spread because there's too many variables. Tennessee wants to win because they need to stay viable in the playoffs. However, Tennessee has the Texans next week, and they may be looking ahead to that, even though Oakland's a really easy team. So my value here is 53.5 under because I just can't see the total getting over 50. I just can't.
I don't know, man.
So where are you at? Are you on Tennessee?
Man,
Tennessee getting it across over the 3.5.
Oof.
Oh, you're on the over. You really think it's gonna be a shootout? You really think it's gonna?
I think so.
That's a terrible idea, but
I mean, clip that.
Over.
I think it's a terrible idea.
But neither of us are gonna choose this as our overall.
I feel like it's interesting. If I had free money to gamble, I would. What?
If I had free money to gamble, I stack it on the gimme. That's what I do.
Nah.
All right, Sunday Night Football, Seattle at the L.A. motherfucking Rams. This game is so close that there is no spread. It is a pick 'em.
Yeah.
So pick your winner, or
pick who can lose by two field goals,
or a touchdown without an extra point. Since we've seen so many teams miss extra points.
Oh, that's
Seattle's
right.
kicker is not very consistent, FYI.
That'll play a role in this thing.
It might. LA's at home. Your over-under is 47. Your over gets moved to 41, and your under gets moved up to 53. I'm sorry, but I just cannot play a bet against Russell Wilson in prime time at night.
Thank you.
I just can't. I don't care where he is. You just can't. Russell Wilson is your boy. Russell Wilson from 2 seasons ago. You just can't.
MVP candidate next to Lamar Jackson, not the MVP candidate.
He's
MVP
1A.
candidate.
He's 1A at this point.
Dude, I'll tell you, Lamar Jackson, that's the MVP.
So I mean, this is pretty clear cut for us. There's a few too many variables to play the total in this. Even adding over a 41, which is actually pretty nice. The value for us is really getting to 6, and this is a case of buying the half point and getting the 6.5. But I would have to take Seattle because I just expect Seattle to win. So if I'm expecting Seattle to win, I can just take the straight money line at minus 110. But I also get the insurance of having just a last minute field goal beat them. So the value here for both of us is really at +6 Seattle, correct?
Yeah, I had to agree with Danny because it is my boy Russell Wilson. Not my boy this year, but he was my boy.
Somebody else has him.
But yeah, I just don't see the Rams have just been really inconsistent, and just because you beat the Arizona Cardinals like a drop, but they did. I think they're gonna come into this game a little headstrong and say, yeah, like we back, like we ready, like we know who we are.
Well,
and then they face the nasty Seahawks, dude, and the Seahawks are no joke this year.
No, well, there's 2 variables to this. The Rams are technically still in contention, but a loss takes them out of contention, period.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle needs to win this because they're in second place and hold over the San Francisco 49ers. If the Niners beat New Orleans, then Seattle gets the number 1 seed because they have the tiebreak over San Francisco. Oh. So that's the really interesting case is both teams really feel like they have to play for something. It's just that Seattle feels like they need to play a little bit more.
Yeah, no, Seattle's going to go on the road and win this. I think so.
And Seattle's been really good on the road.
Yep.
Seattle's actually been more successful on the road.
Can't doubt Russell the Love Muscle, I guess.
God, that's your
that dude. I'm telling you, he's clutch. He's clutch.
All right, final game, Monday Night Football. I'm just quickly peeking to see if this has changed. You have the New York Giants, the lowly New York Giants, playing Philadelphia Eagles. Somehow they are still in the playoff hunt because I'm assuming at this point the Cowboys have lost. Holy smokes, I would have won my bet, but this is why I don't always bet Thursday night. Philly is minus 9.5 points favorites. Over-under is 46. Do you know the news about New York? The Giants. Do you know the news about their quarterback?
Oh yeah, Eli started.
Eli motherfucking Manning is starting. There's a really curious. I want your opinion on this because I haven't heard any talk about this. So Eli obviously was benched. Eli lost his last game, and he's actually even right now in wins and losses. He has the same amount of wins and losses. He's 50-50. Does Eli play good enough to get over that hump of 50-50?
Or are things a coincidence? You know, when somebody has to come off the bench and play. Who else did that last weekend? Andy Dalton. There you go.
Albeit this is Eli Manning, who's been terrible the last 4 years.
Eli Manning has been terrible. He is terrible. Okay, nothing's changed. I don't think it's not safe enough for me. But you know what is a safe bet for me? The Eagles.
So teasing this gets the Giants up to 15.5, while the Eagles get down to 3.5.
I don't see how the Eagles are going to lose this game. First of all, if you're
You
talking
don't think
about
they can get backdoored and lose by 4 points?
No.
I mean 3 points?
No, not at home. Not at home. But that's just for me
Philly's
again.
Been terrible. They just lost to. They gave up so many points.
I know, but
and that awesome trick play.
All right, but
love that trick play.
That was a pretty badass trick play. But they're division rivals, yes.
Yes.
All right. I always have a little stigma about division rival games too,
Mm-hmm.
and I just have games that I remember, and I think you are gonna remember this too. When they kicked the ball, it was Matt Dodge who kicked it right into the hands of Deshaun Jackson.
God.
Deshaun Jackson bobbled that ball, and
picked
he
it up
just
and
picked it up,
out.
ran it, not for a touchdown. He literally looked to see, hey, is it time to run in yet? Oh, yeah, it's time to run in. Touchdown, game over. Everybody pack up your stuff, go home. Hit the showers, all right? Yeah, so when I can say that the Giants can choke on this one, I'm pretty sure they will. And you know what? They won by a touchdown. They won by 6 points. There's no way.
The truth is in this game, for me, on my side, is Philly has not figured out their offense. Their pass defense is terrible. So if you're asking me to give the New York Giants a puncher's chance of losing by less than double digits, I say yes.
Ooh.
So value-wise, and Eli, one of the problems Daniel Jones has is that he doesn't take care of the ball while he fumbles the ball a lot. I want to guess that he has over 10 fumbles right now, or at least 10 turnovers. So if you're asking me to take a side on this, because I don't trust any of the over-under at 46. 46 gets you an over teased at 40 and an under at 52. If you're asking me where my value is, I'm going to take Eli Manning to safely secure the ball and not get beaten by more than 14 points.
Mark your words, Danny. Mark your words.
I'm not saying we're going to bet this. We are going to keep track. By the way, we are going to keep track of who makes the correct decision in each of these teases, and we'll total it up later.
Great.
So it's going to be fun.
Oh, I've already lost one unofficially today. I was gonna say, hey, I'm feeling Dallas and the over.
We don't count. We're not doing Thursday night. Thursday night is such a terrible thing.
Yeah, but
we won one. You've won 2 Thursday nights. I've won 1 Thursday night.
And those are all by dumb luck.
No, it wasn't dumb luck. I knew how bad, and I told you, and I convinced you of it. You're welcome. I told you how bad Mitchell Trubisky and the Bears were gonna be.
Oh yeah, I backed out on that one. Yeah, that's right.
No, you didn't. You
I'll bet the other way
with me.
Oh yeah.
It was your uncle. It was your uncle who was like dying from it.
Oh my
Dude,
god.
By the time halftime was there, I was like, we hit the under like it was nothing because there was only like 7 points or 6 points.
Yeah, he was like, damn, it's dead.
I told
It's
you,
over.
Like, this is a gimme. I'm like, we got it. So,
oh my gosh.
I knew how bad they were. So where's your value then? On Philly, 3.5.
I'm not gonna say that. I mean, I hate retracting, but sometimes you hear people.
Don't be afraid to stand where you are.
You
I
hear-
stood firm.
you
I'm
hear
standing firm
people-
with Eli Manning. Really a scary situation, but I'm standing firm with Eli Manning.
You know what? And because of that same reason, he reminded me. It's Eli Manning, okay? First of all, he's out of practice. He's out of sync. He's disconnected.
So is Daniel Jones.
Okay, so now you're looking at all these guys who just don't know how to run an offense.
I don't know.
And
It's hard. This is why I'm staying away from the game.
And yeah, and so they might not be able to score, but I don't think the Giants defense can hold the Eagles. Right? I mean, the Eagles, they just don't know who they are right now. Right? I just don't know what happened to that Super Bowl team. It was just, now it's, they don't even pass to Ertz anymore.
Which is weird.
Who's running the ball? Nobody.
Jordan Howard's hurt, so it's Miles Sanders.
And
really just Miles Sanders.
I've seen no Eagles players on, any highlights.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, the games I see, all those receivers are sorry. It's like they do not want to dive for the ball. They don't care if it's like that close to a first down. They're playing like terrible. So I'm still going to say that I would take Philly.
You're going to take Philly special.
I would take Philly.
Take that Philly special.
Because I just think that Philadelphia defense that'll be good enough for an Eli Manning coming off of, his first game. I don't think he'll have a good turnout like the Red Rocket. I think he's just going to go back. Cowboys lost.
Yeah, but they overhit. I was wrong. I had the under.
Oh.
I had the under.
So
50,
we're 1-1.
50,
Yes,
50.
we're even.
Doesn't count that we don't do Thursday night.
Oh, okay. We don't do Thursday night America. This is a nice little pre-run.
Dallas only got 21 points. It's so sad.
Can I? Since you're checking that, who
No,
got it? Who got it?
Who scored?
Yeah.
Dak threw a touchdown to Amari Cooper, and that means the defense got one. Yeah, defense got something. Zeke didn't.
Gallup.
Zeke got 2 touchdowns.
Gallup. Oh, what? Damn. Oh no.
Were you playing? You're playing against Michael Gallup. Ooh, that's 10.9 points against you.
That fucking sucks. Oh, sorry, America. If we're still recording.
Yeah, that's all right. It's all right.
Post
this
edit.
is just a test run. We're trying to see what's working and what's not. All right, man. Sit down. Sit your butt down, boy. All right, final choice. All right, we each usually go with one teaser sometime. Okay, do you realize almost every time we are together on a Sunday teaser, we lose it? Think about that.
Sunday night?
No, a Sunday teaser in general. Every time you and I have gone in together on a teaser, we've lost it.
Like as in like choosing one and then the other?
Yeah, it'd be like, oh man, you like that teaser? I'm going to jump on it. How many times have you jumped on my teaser and we lost it? Probably at least 4 times now.
You're saying I'm unlucky?
No, I'm saying we're both unlucky to each other because I jumped on a couple of years and lost.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. All right.
I mean, we jumped on a couple of them together and won, obviously, but I find the correlation really funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what we do at the end of this is
gosh.
take your ultimate teaser. Take what you would most likely bet as a teaser in any combination. I already know one of the games you're going with.
Oh yeah, you got to.
He's going with KC +9.
I like that. I like KC +9. And you already know I'm going to take my Texans too.
Texans +3, -3.
Yep. That's a good one. But I don't. See, I like that, but I also like. Dude, I kind of like Baltimore just winning.
Just to win? That's the other one I started to think about.
I like.
It's a little scary to think about because you always wonder at some point, when does the hype, when does the high power offense
exactly.
Because it happened so far. It's happened to New England. New England's high powered defense along with Brady is fizzed out. So I worry about that. And they started, and you look at how good of a defensive unit San Francisco was able to stop them. Buffalo's not as good, but Buffalo's good enough to possibly hold them off.
Right. I just don't think that Buffalo may answer some of Lamar's touchdown. So I would still say I'm pretty confident in that,
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, dude, KC +9, that's a must. And then Houston, there's no denying that. I think that takes the cake for me.
This is bad because I just mentioned us worrying about jumping on the same bet, but I'm almost in agreement that KC +9 and Houston -3 is the best value.
Oh, we're playing Denver, yeah. So it's it's Denver, so +3. Yeah, they can definitely do it.
No, it's -3.
Oh wait! Oh, -3.
-3.
Oh yeah, that was a deal
3.
too good to be
Dude,
true.
yeah, no, it's like
-3,
+3. Holy shit, give me that.
I was like, yeah, give me that all
$1,000
day.
right now. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That's like
$1,000 right now, dude.
my
That's
kidneys, my kidneys. Put them on the table right there.
The other thing, and I know it scares you, even though I said I might not bet it, Cleveland just to win out is almost really nice value.
I can't do that.
If I expect Green Bay to win a blowout, -6.5 is a gimme, but it doesn't take me. I try so hard to go with good perceived value that getting Green Bay, I need Green Bay to get under 6.5. I need them to get to 5.5 for that to happen. So Houston -3 and KC +9 is the best perceived value. The only other thing I can look at and might go with is Seattle at a tease, but that's it. Now this may change later on because I'm gonna end up reading more stuff and doing a little more analysis. But right now, I think you and I are holding strong together at Houston -3 and KC +9. And you've been scared of the Texans, like when we first started betting. They fucked us so hard.
I haven't. They've bent us over so many times, just as many times as Green Bay has. Golly, every
Green
week.
Bay's done it to you once.
Every week, I've not bet the Ravens and the Patriots.
You've been scared that they're gonna falter. You actually stood. No, you did. We did 2 weeks ago when we had them playing Dallas, and they won. But then Green Bay fucked us. So
just ridiculous.
Could not believe that Aaron Rodgers could not get.
Discount double check beating a new nickname.
I know, right? All right, so like, KC +9 and Houston -3. Those are what we would perceive to be lock-in. Now the lines can change at any time. You know, accidents and injuries happen, but that's where we stand at. So we'll come up. We'll change it. If either of us change our bet, by the way, we'll fix it in the next showing.
I like that.
We'll show the score, and then we'll show the scores up because there's a chance I get a little scared of a certain bet, and I'll change it. So KC +9 and Houston -3, and that's where we're totaling out at. So hopefully, depending on how this goes, you got a lot of good information at where you see your perceived value is in teasing, and we're going to try and keep doing this every week, just to get that information out there. We don't feel like there's enough information out on teasers. You get so much like, oh, this is good value. You're getting Pittsburgh at good value at -2.5 that you forget that if you feel like you need the insurance, as you call it, getting an extra 6 gets you there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we want to keep getting this information out. And teasers are great to get you over certain numbers, but there are certain bettors that don't like teasers because they don't like the added hook of you have to win both of yours. But if you feel really confident in both of yours, then that's what you want to go with. And that's
2 confident bets. Put the money on there. No fear. Don't look back. Win the money.
I agree.
Leave.
So for Andrew Chang, I'm Daniel Saludo. Keep betting on the NFL, and don't forget, teasing is good sometimes.